Hey everyone, it's Jordy from Freelance Vets, and I am super excited today to be talking with Larry Crowther, a 25-year, very distinguished Army veteran. He was Deputy Chief of Staff, had a great military career, and he's going to tell you about that in a minute, and moved on after leaving the military, worked for Amazon and some other companies. So Larry, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to chat today. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem, Jordy. Appreciate your time. Looking forward to sharing my experiences with others.
Awesome, awesome. Well, that's one of the things I like the most about you, Larry, is that you are very eager and willing to help those who've come after you, and that means a lot to us. So why don't we just start out? Give everyone a little intro to your military career and some of the stuff you did in the Army.
Sure. Well, we retired in 2016 after 25 years of long service in the United States Army. Retired as a lieutenant colonel. Was an armored cavalry officer by trade, and actually loved every bit of what we did for me and my family and what it provided for us. So when we made that transition in 2016, like most people, we were very excited about what lies ahead, but wasn't sure what we were going to do that next phase of life. And I think every veteran goes through that moment of, well, what am I going to do with the next phase of my life? I don't know. And it can kind of catch you off guard, and you have to think through that, and it can be kind of very difficult process to kind of go through. I was very fortunate with the fact that I actually had a company come and recruit me, which a lot of veterans go through. So as you had mentioned, I was fortunate that a company like Amazon came and reached out to me, and worked with them for a year as doing operations management in one of their large fulfillment centers in the Fort Worth area, which is where we wanted to live. So life seemed like it was going great. You know, I felt like, man, I've gotten the golden apple. Life is great. You know, everyone was wrong about this transition process. This is easy. Life is great. A year into it, though, I realized that was not the case, and through for various reasons and what I thought I wanted in my life, I realized that was not the place I needed to be, and was not the culture I needed to be around. And that the decision to quickly just jump into the first offer that came through my way was probably not the best decision to make. So making that decision with my family, decided that this is not what we wanted to do. Left that position and decided to jump right back in and try to do it the right way. Which meant, learning, what networking was all about, learning about what it is about, what did I want to do? What did my family want? And kind of going through some of those transition things that you have to go through. That process took about a year. It really did, which is really what I need. And I'll talk about this later on about, the importance of transitioning the right way, not underestimating what that transition really needs to be. So it took about a year before I found a job that I really liked, working with an outsourcing company where I was brought on board to kind of run their operations and help them grow and develop as a small company. I did that for 18 months and absolutely loved that job. I learned what culture, learned a little bit about corporate America, where you can be, top dog one day, and then through business decisions, you and your entire team of 40 people can be let go, which is what happened to me in January. And then that happens.
Yeah.
And learn some from that, and then find yourself back in the process of trying to find a job again. So here I am 3 years after, post-retirement, and I feel like I'm still going through my transition. That it's not I'm out this day, I'm a civilian the next day. That transition takes time. It can take months, it can take years. And it's something we constantly go through and we constantly learn lessons through. So here I am, a retired Army officer, 3 years post-retirement, and I'm looking for a job.
Hey.
Through all that goes through with that. And that's kind of where I am right now in my life.
Yeah, well, I think, like you said, I love your outlook on it. You got knocked down a lot, like all of us, and you just keep getting up and keep fighting the
Yep.
good fight, and not stopping until you find something that's gonna be a good fit for you and for your family.
Yep.
Talk, our mission here at Freelance Vets, we want to connect military veterans and spouses all over the world with an opportunity to work from home, to be their own boss, and to set schedules that work for them and their family, and to earn a good living. We'll talk a little bit about why you think this might be a good avenue for for vets who are either considering doing something like this full time or part time, or to supplement what they got going on?
I'll start it off by telling people, the biggest lesson I learned when I left the service, and that is, do not underestimate, how difficult this transition is going to be. It's not a turn off the military one day, turn on your civilian life the next day. That's not how it works. The military and everything that you learned and became will always be a part of who you are. It will.
Right.
You have to accept that and understand that that's who you are. You can't turn that off, and that your personal well-being has to come first during this transition process. You have to sit down and determine, okay, what is it that I really want to do in my life? And that takes time to kind of research and develop and figure out. So when I hear about opportunities that are available for veterans where they can do freelance work, where they can test the waters, where they can do things from home while they're learning to reconnect with their families, while they're learning to reconnect with society, while still testing out the waters, earning an income and doing things that may lead to future opportunities, I think that's a tremendous opportunity. And I think it's something that veterans should strongly look at. Instead of just one day leaving the military and the next day jumping into a 9-to-5 job in an office setting with that, and then I have gone through that transition process and that decompression process, which I think are vital. I think it can be dangerous for a veteran to just jump right into another workforce right away, not having decompressed, which I think you have to do. And I think there's some danger in that when you overreact to situations that you're not used to, because it's a different world out there. So I love the concept of a way to get people to gradually start getting into the workforce in a way that they can do it on their own terms and still allow them to transition and decompress and go through that as a veteran.
That's great advice. I really like that because, I'm 53, and, you go through so many phases in your life where you think you know what you want to do, but then you get exposed to new and different things and you change course a little bit. And I think that's good. It keeps it exciting and fresh. And when you just, like you said, just jump into the first thing that comes your way, or say, hey, I, was an aircraft mechanic in the military, and I'm going to now go be a mechanic in the civilian world. There's so many more things you can do. The skills and the character traits and all the lessons that you learn in the military make you so much in demand in the civilian world, right? It's doing that soul searching, that researching, that, networking to find areas that might be of interest to you.
That's exactly right. And I think you're spot on there. And I tell people, to understand that the language that they're going to learn on the outside of the military is completely different. It's a whole new culture. And I remember, being a retired senior Army officer, and now I report to a 20-something senior operations manager who is barking at me and telling me things. I did not react very well to that. And a lot of veterans may not, because we're so used to a certain structure and where we fit in that structure. And the people that were in charge of us had very extensive experience, and we knew and respected who they were. And now you're in a situation where it's a different kind of a model. And there's a different, I hate to use the word politics, but it's just a different system. And that kind of, structure is different to us. And a lot of veterans may not react to that the right way. And it can cause problems for them as they learn to transition and learn to adapt to a new system.
Right. What's some other advice or tips you might have for veterans who are trying to sort of figure out what they want to do with their career? What would be some good ways to do that soul searching? And
network. It is absolutely critical. Nothing that you have gone through or going to go through, someone else has gone through it as well. And we unfortunately lack some humility sometimes. We have some pride, and our egos are big as military people. And to put aside that pride and to be humble, to say, I need help. You'll be amazed at how many people want to help. It blew my mind when I finally let down that guard and said, yes, I'm a lieutenant colonel in the Army. Yes, I've done all this in my life, but I'm asking for help.
Right.
And the amount of help that came my way blew me away. People that generally want to share their experiences, that generally want to network with you and help you learn, is the number one thing that people do. And you do it early. If you know you're going to get out of the Army or the Navy or the Air Force, Marines in a year, then start networking now. Start building those relationships. Those relationships matter. You're not in alone. And that's something that I've learned, and now I want to share with others that, this is what I've learned. This is what I've gone through. How can I help you?
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that because it is so crucial. I'm a civilian, I didn't serve, but anytime any veteran before, I got into this field would reach out to me, you drop everything you're doing to help. You want to help. It's a way to give back, and not just, I'm sure the military community, the people who came before you, to reach out to them, but don't hesitate to reach out to a civilian as well. And the best way to do it is on LinkedIn. There's everybody out there and is so reachable, and I know, Larry, I know you use it extremely well. And one of the things I like about the way you interact on LinkedIn, everything is just so professional, and it's so polite. There are no typos in what you write. It's all spot on. It's complimentary. It's you use it the way it should be used, and to network and to meet people who hopefully can help you and who you can help as well. It goes both ways.
No, I appreciate that, but it took me time to get to that point. It took me a couple of years to realize that I was not doing it the right way, and that's okay. You realize you make mistakes. We're taught to do an after action review and to learn our mistakes and to try to get better. So
Yeah.
we can't be afraid to do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Larry, I thank you again so much for sharing this information and your story, and with veterans and the military spouses. This means a lot to me, and I know to the community as well. So we appreciate that.
No, thank you very much, Jordy. Anything I can do to help, I appreciate it.